Hey, this is going to be a quick introduction to Docker and setting up Docker on Mac. Docker is a great way to run consistent environments across Linux, Windows and Mac. But one caveat with running Docker on Mac or Windows is that we need access to the Linux kernel. The reason for this is Docker relies on a feature within the Linux kernel, so it doesn't actually run natively on Mac or Windows at this time. This isn't a problem because Docker has actually provided us Docker Toolbox, which packages all the requirements necessary to start using Docker and containers on either Windows or Macs in one easy install. Docker Toolbox provides access to Docker Engine, which allows us to build and run containers. It also gives us access to Docker Compose, which is a way that we can define rules for firing up multiple containers at once, like Apache, PHP or MySQL. Also gives us Docker Machine, which is a simple way for running and starting up Docker hosts on either local machines like VirtualBox or cloud providers like DigitalOcean, Linode or AWS, and it will be something that we'll use during this video. We've also got Kitematic, which is a graphical user interface for working with containers, and VirtualBox, which is what we'll be using to run our Docker host machines, and then we'll be deploying containers on that host. So let's just get started by grabbing the Docker Toolbox install. So just through their website, and then we just go through to Docker Toolbox for the page to download, and then we can just download through this page. I've already got it installed, so I'm just going to go over there now. I can just double click on the install, and it's going to be a very quick, simple minute or two setup. Just go through, put in my password, and this will install in a few seconds, and we're done. So now once we go through into the Launchpad, you can see that we've got the Docker Quick Start Terminal, Kitematic and VirtualBox. I'm actually going to run through this on the command line so you can actually see what's going on. I'm just going to open up VirtualBox as well, and terminal. Okay, let's set up our first virtual machine for running containers on. We're going to use Docker machine for this. So docker-machine create -d, which is the indicator for what driver to use, so in our case VirtualBox, and give it a name for the machine, which is default. So this is just going to take a couple of minutes to actually start firing off and creating a virtual machine for us. You will see in VirtualBox that it will create the machine and it will power that up. To assign the IP address, it will probably take a couple of minutes, so I'm just going to pause the video and skip ahead. Okay, so our virtual machine's all set up and running, so now we just need to start deploying containers to it. First thing that I'll try and run is Docker PS, which will list out any containers that we've got running. This is going to throw an error because currently my local machine and the virtual machine that I've got running aren't connected. So to get the two connected, we can actually run Docker machine env default, the name of our host, and that will print out the information for the Docker host machine. Here we can actually run eval $docker machine env and close brackets. We just need the name of the host. Now we can actually run Docker PS, which would list out any containers we've got running. So we're actually going to just run a container that I've previously built. So Docker run, we're going to run it in the background using -d. I'm also going to connect port 80 to the container, and the name of the container is dockerup quicksite. So this is actually just going to fire up a container. This will take a minute or two to just get the image from Docker Hub. This will actually build a container that has Nginx in it and has a single index.html landing page, just to fire up a single page website. That's now set up. So I'm just going to grab the IP address of our virtual machine, head over to the browser, and here we've got our landing page. So that's pretty much it. I'll follow up on some other parts of Docker in later videos.